470 ohm resistor, and that is our positive end. So let's have a look. I've got to get my bearings again. Right, there we are. So there's our resistor. I'll just get a pointer. Where are we? There's our resistor, our 470 ohms. And it's difficult, this. And there's the pin it's soldered to, and our capacitor comes off of that pin. Where are we? I'm trying to do two things at once here. And there's our capacitor soldered on the other half of it. So that's the positive end. Now I'm going to have to go on the internet and look up. Now I know there's a positive and negative with tantalums, but I don't know which one's what. So I'm going to have to go and find out. I know that there is a difference. I know that there is a positive and a negative. That I do know, but which one's what, I don't know. It's probably the same as the LEDs. One lead shorter than the other. But I'm not sure. So let's go on the internet and find out. Make sure we get it wired around the right way. This is on my iPod. I've got it as big as I can get it. And just thought I'd show that. Just interested. See what's inside the capacitor. Yeah, that's what's inside a tantalum. So the longer lead is the positive. Right, because I've never installed a tantalum bead before. I just know there's a positive and a negative. That's all I know about them. And they can cause some fireworks if you get them in the wrong way. Right, okay, let's get this part in. Right, there's our tantalum bead soldered in. All I've got to do is clean the connections. Now what I've got to be careful of is there's a tiny little coil in there. You can just about see it behind that red shrink-on tubing. I've got to be very careful what I do with that. If I break that, we're in bother. Probably make a new one, but not easy. Not easy at all, not something I look forward to. So far all these capacitors in here seem to be in value, so I don't want to pull this apart anymore. The only capacitor I'm interested in is that black one along the bottom. You can just about see it underneath that red disc capacitor, and where that 1K resistor goes across. I'm interested in that, but after this, that's it. It's putting this back together again, soldering all the wires, the connections that I've used on this, that I've taken off on this. And then we're going to bulldog it back into the chassis and see what it does. I know there's going to be problems with that because the long leads is going to cause problems, but see what we get. We don't know what we're going to get until we try it. Alright, so we've done that. At least we found some dodgy resistors in here anyway. So it was worth coming in there. By the way, in case you're wondering, I have used the bigger size resistors. For me, easier to work with, and they're about the same size as what came out. I could have got away with quarter watt ones, smaller ones. But I decided to go down this route in my decision at the end of the day. Alright, so we're going to tidy up in here and then get to that other capacitor. Right, you see that disc capacitor at the back there? I snipped the wrong lead, but it doesn't matter, we can get it back. But the capacitor that went along the bottom I was interested in, that's it there. It doesn't look, whoops. Get the camera in focus. Anyway, it's focusing on my fingers. Yeah, look at that. That doesn't look very good, does it? Yeah, so we're going to replace it with that. And that is spot on. I've just checked it in my capacitor meter and that is spot on. So let's have a look at the capacitor on the other one, see what the reading on that one is. I'm just curious. Right, there's C15. It's supposed to be 0.01 UF. And it's connected from positive to ground. And I've tested it. There we are. We've got our meter leads across, and it's reading that. Right, that is quite a long way off. So I'm kind of glad I got that out of there. Yeah, it's a very handy meter, that is. If anyone wonders what kind of meter that is, it's a UF150 capacitance meter, and it is very, very accurate. Or at least this one is, anyway. So you have a dial here for calibrating it. I keep forgetting to use that. You have to calibrate it to 0 before you test. You can test ceramic capacitors, disc capacitors or whatever, and you can do electrolytics, but you must be careful they're not charged up, otherwise they'll blow the meter up. And that's the scale on there. So it does UF and nanofarads and picofarads. Very useful. I use it all the time. Use it all the time. One of the best things I ever did buying that. Worth its weight in gold. Well worth the money. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And somehow, I've lost it now underneath all this lot. Somehow we've got to get this tiny, where are we? There you are. This tiny little capacitor in that box. So we're going to have to extend the leads probably. That should be interesting. But we'll get it in somehow, and also solder up the other capacitor I clipped out by mistake. But as it's been clipped out, we'll test that one as well, and if necessary replace it. Okay, that's where we're at the moment. There's our little capacitor. We've made a little coil, a smaller one than the other one. We bent the wires around the pins on this capacitor to give us a smaller diameter coil. I slid it on the end of the capacitor and hooked the end of the lead over, and now I'm just going to clean the joint from grease with some rubbing alcohol, and then we're going to put our soldering iron on. Now we clean the soldering iron, just going to dry the joint. Now we're going to add some flux. Now we're going to use our fine solder for this. Nice clean joint, tin or iron. There we go. A nice lovely joint. And we'll put some heat shrink tubing over that. And we're going to do it exactly the same to the other end. Exactly the same. And there we go, we have our component ready to go into our circuit. 2 long wires on each end, covered with shrink tubing. This should be adequate for what we want, and it's a more accurate value. Alright, the other disc capacitor, I checked it. My meter, it was struggling to read it, but it didn't show any alarming figures, so I'm going to leave it in. Right, just to let you know what's going on, I've done all the soldering that I need to do on this side. Okay, sorry, that side. You can see the transistor. I put the shrink tubing on the leads so that I didn't touch. The other side I haven't done yet, so I thought I would try my best to film that, because I thought it might be a bit easier. I'll show you what I can. Okay, so I cut myself off a tiny little piece of shrink tubing, and I'm going to put them on one of these leads. Probably put them on all of the leads. So just having a look. I don't know. I'm trying to keep this in shot.